Imagine you're at the edge of a dense, misty forest. This isn't just any forest, it's the forest of rejection, a dark place everyone warns you about, but one that nearly everyone eventually finds themselves entering. It's a forest full of twists, turns, and dead ends that's easy to get lost in and hard to escape from unscathed. Most people dread it, taking it as a sign that they're lost or unworthy. They think once they enter, they may never come out the same. But what if, instead of a treacherous landscape, this forest held hidden treasures? What if those who venture in with the right mindset can emerge stronger, wiser, and sharper than they ever imagined? Think about it like this. Imagine rejection as a mirror, one that doesn't just show you who you are, but reveals what you're capable of. Every time you face rejection, whether it's that job you didn't get, the girl who ghosted you, or the friend who drifted away, it's as if life is holding up that mirror, inviting you to see beyond the hurt. You have a choice. Either view it as a brutal reflection of inadequacy or as an opportunity to refine and rebuild yourself, like a blade in the fire. Today, we're not here to talk about rejection in the usual way. We're going to flip the script using reverse psychology and Stoic insights to learn how rejection can work for you rather than against you. Imagine taking that forest of rejection and turning it into your personal training ground, a place that doesn't break you, but instead chisels you, like a sculptor creating something extraordinary out of stone. If you're up for the challenge, here are 5 powerful lessons to shift the way you see rejection and learn to use it to your advantage. First, let's talk about perspective. Rejection, at its core, is a test of perception. Picture a sailor navigating rough seas. The waves are relentless, crashing against his vessel. To most, it seems like nature is trying to sink the ship. But to a seasoned sailor, those waves are tools, guiding him, forcing him to master his navigation. Similarly in life, rejection isn't meant to drown you. It's a wave meant to sharpen your skill, a force pushing you to adjust your sails and strengthen your course. When you take rejection as a natural part of life rather than an end point, it becomes a compass guiding you closer to where you truly belong. Each of the 5 lessons we'll discuss today will give you the mindset shift needed to see rejection as your secret weapon. This isn't about pretending rejection doesn't sting. It's about using Stoicism to remind yourself that you're in control of how deeply it affects you. Stoics believed that while we can't control the events life throws our way, we can control our responses, and that's where our power lies. Imagine being able to handle each rejection as if you were a martial artist, calmly absorbing each blow, learning from it, and growing stronger with each encounter. That's what we're aiming for. So, here's a taste of what's to come. We're going to explore the art of silence and distance, the powerful psychology of ignoring them too, and why mastering emotional control is like wielding a sword in a world obsessed with quick reactions. We'll talk about why cutting off contact after rejection isn't just a defense mechanism, but a means to rebuild and reinforce yourself. And we'll go deep into the power of redirection, the art of seeing each rejection not as a closed door, but as a new path towards something better. If you're ready to transform how you think about rejection, to stop seeing it as an insult and start seeing it as your personal guide, you're in the right place. By the end of this conversation, you'll have the tools to step into that forest of rejection with confidence, turning every no you encounter into the next step toward your best self. Rejection is my fuel, not my failure. Feel the power in this. Every no is just another step toward your unbreakable self. Say it, believe it, and let it become your mantra. If you're ready to turn rejection into strength, drop this phrase in the comments: "Rejection is my fuel." And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next step in becoming unstoppable. Are you ready to master these lessons and start using rejection to your favor? Let's dive into the first lesson and begin reshaping how you see one of life's most misunderstood teachers. Lesson 1: The Art of Vanishing Focus. Have you ever noticed how, after someone shuts the door on you, your mind can't help but linger in that space? That one rejection becomes a mental loop, drawing you back again and again, consuming your focus. Imagine you've just been turned down for a promotion or rejected by someone you cared about. You replay every word, every moment, trying to figure out what you did wrong. But here's the paradox. The more you focus on what you lost, the more you diminish your own value. It's as if you're handing them even more control, despite them already choosing to walk away. But what if, instead of giving them that power, you used this rejection as a reason to vanish, not from the world, but from their mental space? By reclaiming your focus and redirecting it toward your growth, you transform rejection into fuel, something that actually propels you forward. You're not running away from what happened. You're simply choosing to redirect your attention to something far more important: yourself. This is the first layer of reverse psychology, using their rejection as a reason to become better, sharper, and more focused than you've ever been. Imagine this. Every time you pull your focus back from them, you're investing in yourself. Picture that mental energy like currency. If you keep spending it on someone who walked away, you're going broke emotionally, mentally, and even physically. But when you reinvest it in you, you become wealthier in confidence, clarity, and direction. This vanishing act isn't about bitterness or pretending to move on while secretly hoping they'll change their mind. It's about becoming so invested in your own journey that you become unrecognizable to anyone who once overlooked you. The art of vanishing focus lies in mastering where your thoughts go. Stoicism teaches us that we control our internal reactions, even if we can't control external events. The rejection happened, that's a fact, but the part you own is what happens afterward. Instead of letting rejection pull you into a spiral of self-doubt or worry, treat it as a permission slip to vanish from their influence entirely. Silence becomes your response, and your focus becomes your strength. As you vanish from their radar, channel that energy into something concrete. Start a project you've been putting off, revisit an old passion, or set a challenging goal. When you direct your mental energy here, you're creating a version of yourself that rejection can't reach. Rejection then transforms from something painful into a marker, a turning point toward reinvention. You're not just ignoring them, you're disappearing from the space where their opinion matters at all. Think of this like resetting your personal GPS. Rejection just pointed out a dead end. It's your chance to find a new path, a better destination. This shift doesn't happen overnight, and it requires discipline. But each time you pull your focus back from what you lost and put it into what you're building, you gain momentum. You become stronger, more resilient, and eventually entirely unbothered by who walked away. Let them wonder where you went. Let them see glimpses of your progress from a distance, piecing together your success from afar. Because when you vanish from the mental space of those who rejected you and pour that focus into yourself, you're not just moving forward, you're moving upward. Rejection isn't holding you back. It's propelling you toward a self so powerful that nobody can ignore it. Lesson 2: The Unreachable Aura. Have you ever noticed how the things just out of reach hold the most allure? Think about it. The job you didn't get, the person who ghosted you, or the opportunity that just slipped away. There's something tantalizing, almost magnetic, about what we can't have. It's like a spark in the dark, a pull we can't fully explain. Rejection can be the spark that ignites this kind of allure, if you know how to handle it. The secret? Embrace the power of being unreachable. Instead of chasing approval or proving yourself after rejection, imagine building a kind of aura that quietly communicates, "I'm valuable, with or without your validation." This is where reverse psychology plays into the Stoic principles of self-worth. When we stop trying to win over those who've rejected us and focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves, something profound happens. You become someone people want to reach but can't fully touch. Rejection, in this sense, becomes your launchpad for creating a stronger, more mysterious version of yourself that draws people in without even trying. So how do you create this unreachable aura? First, it starts with a mental shift. Most people let rejection trigger a need for validation. They ask themselves, "What's wrong with me? Why didn't they choose me?" Instead, ask yourself, "How can I invest this energy back into myself?" This is where Stoic resilience kicks in. It's about accepting that external approval or validation doesn't define you. Instead, focus on areas of growth, pursue goals that genuinely matter to you, and build qualities that make you exceptional, whether or not others notice. When you pour energy into becoming a more self-sufficient, focused person, your aura naturally becomes more compelling. Imagine the scene. The person who once overlooked or rejected you now sees you thriving, moving forward, and growing without needing their attention. The truth is, there's something undeniably magnetic about a person who is grounded and doesn't need external approval. This quiet confidence says, "I'm going places, with or without your presence in my life." The art of reverse psychology lies in creating a sense of rare access. Think about it. Anything rare automatically becomes more valuable. By embodying a mindset of self-worth and unattachment, you signal that not everyone gets access to your time or attention. When someone rejects you, they're choosing to step back, and that's okay. Use that distance to build yourself up in such a way that if they ever do come back, they find someone even more powerful and composed than before. This unreachability isn't about playing games. It's about genuinely prioritizing your own growth and peace over validation from those who don't appreciate it. There's a simple but powerful exercise to cultivate this unreachable aura. Every time you feel the urge to chase someone's approval, whether it's checking in, reaching out, or over-explaining your worth, pause. Shift that energy towards something productive, like improving your skills, working on your health, or mastering a new challenge. When you consistently do this, people will start to notice your self-assured presence and may even feel drawn to the mystery surrounding you. And by then, you'll be so focused on your own growth, you won't feel the need to chase anyone's approval. Remember, the most captivating aura is one that doesn't chase. It simply is. Rejection can be painful, yes, but it's also the doorway to embracing this unreachable quality that brings others toward you naturally. Instead of seeking validation from those who turn you down, let them wonder what they missed. You're building a life they may want to be part of someday, but one that doesn't need them to flourish. Lesson 3. Emotional Sculpting. Have you ever felt that raw, gut-wrenching sting when someone turns you away? That ache of rejection, like a punch you didn't see coming, twisting inside as you wonder what you could have done differently. We've all been there, replaying moments, picking apart conversations, and questioning if it was something about us that wasn't enough. But what if I told you that this exact moment, this painful, vulnerable feeling, is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever possess? What if, instead of a weakness, it's the ultimate raw material waiting for you to shape it? This is the heart of emotional sculpting, the ability to take every ounce of that rejection-fueled pain and transform it into a stronger, more resilient self. Think of each rejection as a block of raw marble, unrefined but full of potential. Every time you face rejection, you're handed another block to carve, another chance to create a more refined version of who you are. By embracing this Stoic approach, you learn that emotions aren't enemies to control or silence. They're tools, waiting to be mastered and molded into something remarkable. In this practice of emotional sculpting, the key lies in reverse psychology, taking that initial hurt and converting it into motivation. Rejection often leads us to feel small, to shrink, or to hide. Instead, turn that instinct on its head. Treat rejection as if it's challenging you to respond, not with bitterness or retreat, but with relentless growth. That sting you feel? It's a signal, a reminder of how much you care and how capable you are of pushing past limits. Take that energy and ask yourself, what can I build from this? How can I let this strengthen rather than weaken me? Stoicism teaches that while we can't control external events, we can always control our responses. Emotional sculpting aligns perfectly with this principle. It invites you to embrace each emotion, not to deny or ignore it, but to let it drive your inner transformation. When rejection comes, welcome it, hold it, feel it fully, and then shape it. Each time you face that pain and consciously decide to use it as fuel, you're building your resilience, piece by piece. Over time, you'll notice that rejections hurt less, not because you're ignoring them, but because you're strengthening yourself to withstand and learn from them. Imagine an athlete training rigorously for a major competition. They don't ignore the pain, they lean into it, recognizing that it's proof of progress. Rejection offers you a similar chance. The discomfort is real, but it's not an end. It's a signal that you're pushing into new territory. Instead of shying away, sculpt it into ambition. Make it part of the journey toward a stronger you, a person unshaken by others' opinions. Each rejection, each painful moment, becomes part of the character you're creating. Let's take this a step further. The next time rejection strikes, pause. Feel the wave of emotions as they rise and let them settle before you react. Then, pick one action, one small way to better yourself or move forward. Whether it's developing a new skill, setting a new goal, or honing your focus, commit to using the energy that rejection stirs in you to create something positive. Slowly, you'll find that those feelings of inadequacy or disappointment are being replaced with strength, clarity, and a sense of purpose. In emotional sculpting, you're not just handling rejection, you're converting it. Each moment of pain is another chisel strike, another step toward the resilient person you're shaping. Embrace it, sculpt it, and watch as you build yourself into someone who not only withstands rejection, but thrives because of it. In the end, you'll realize that each rejection was a tool, not a setback, and every no was simply helping to shape the unstoppable force you're becoming. Lesson 4. The Unseen Redirect. Have you ever found yourself standing at the end of something you thought was meant to last, feeling like the world just slammed a door in your face? You poured everything into a relationship, a job, or a goal, only to have it ripped away without warning. It's in these raw moments, when the sting of rejection feels almost unbearable, that we feel most lost, wondering why things didn't work out despite our best efforts. But what if that closed door wasn't an end? What if, instead, it was a nudge from the universe pushing you toward something far better, something you may not have even dared to imagine? This is the essence of the unseen redirect, the idea that every rejection, every no, is quietly guiding you toward a path you didn't know existed. To master this perspective is to transform disappointment into anticipation, shifting your mindset from "why did this happen to me?" to "what is this making room for?" Rejection, while painful, is often life's way of showing us that we're meant for something different, maybe even greater. The challenge lies in recognizing this redirection for what it is, an invitation to explore a new path, to grow in ways that wouldn't have been possible if things had gone as planned. Imagine you're climbing a mountain and suddenly hit a wall of fog. The path ahead becomes unclear and you feel trapped. But as you step back to look for an alternative route, you notice another trail just around the corner, leading to an even higher peak. That fog didn't obscure your way forward. It redirected you to something better. Many of the world's most successful people have stories rooted in rejection that led to unexpected victories. Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he founded, which led him to pursue new ideas and eventually return to Apple stronger than ever. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television, yet that rejection opened the door for her to become one of the most influential voices in media. These aren't just success stories, they're lessons in the art of redirection. To put this concept into practice, start by reframing rejection as a gift rather than a loss. Instead of asking yourself why things went wrong, ask, what could this experience be guiding me toward? By viewing each rejection as a stepping stone, you give yourself permission to let go of what didn't work and lean into what's next. This isn't easy, especially in the moments when rejection feels personal. But here's the truth. What feels like a detour is often just a shortcut in disguise. The key to mastering the unseen redirect is to take rejection with grace, focus on what you can control, and stay open to new possibilities. Each no is an invitation to expand your vision, to consider opportunities that may have been hidden by the comfort of what was familiar. This is the Stoic approach to rejection, not simply tolerating it, but using it as a tool to sharpen your resilience and broaden your perspective. So, the next time you're met with a closed door, remember that it's not a dead end. It's a redirect, a shift designed to place you on a path uniquely meant for you. Embrace it. You're not being held back. You're being rerouted to something better. Each rejection is clearing the way for you to create a life built on purpose, on growth, and on strength. Lesson 5. Silent mystery as magnetism. Have you ever noticed how, after someone suddenly pulls away, you find yourself thinking about them more? It's like they're still in the room, occupying your thoughts, lingering just enough to make you wonder why they left. Silence, when used strategically, can be more captivating than any spoken word or grand gesture. And when it comes to rejection, this silence isn't just about moving on. It's a powerful tool of reverse psychology that can turn the tables entirely. When we're rejected, the natural reaction is to seek validation, to fight the silence with more communication or attention-seeking behaviors. But here's the twist. Instead of trying to prove yourself or justify your worth, what if you use that rejection to create mystery, to amplify your value simply by stepping back and saying nothing? The power of becoming a silent enigma is that it makes people question themselves, their decisions, and, ultimately, their perceptions of you. Think of the Stoic masters and the quiet power they wielded. They knew that true strength lies not in chasing validation, but in standing confidently in one's own presence, letting actions speak louder than words. When you're faced with rejection, don't let it weaken you by reacting impulsively. Instead, go quiet, focus inward, and use this moment to deepen your self-worth. When you embrace silence after rejection, you signal to others and yourself that you're not dependent on external approval to feel valued. Imagine it like this: each time you resist the urge to reach out, to explain yourself, or to seek closure, you're creating a space of mystery around you. People are naturally drawn to what they don't understand, to what they can't fully read. By stepping back and saying nothing, you're taking control of the narrative without uttering a single word. This silence can create a magnetic effect, making them question why you're so unaffected, why you didn't chase them, why you seem so at peace. In a world that's loud, full of people trying to make themselves heard, silence is a radical act. It's a reverse psychology tool that speaks volumes because it's so unexpected. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about reclaiming your peace, investing in yourself, and allowing others to realize that you're more than their opinions or judgments. When you lean into silence, you're effectively signaling that your value is intrinsic, not reliant on anyone's validation. And here's the magic. This shift in energy, from desperate to grounded, has a ripple effect. Suddenly, you're the one who seems untouchable, the one who holds their own, and that's the kind of energy people are drawn to. By mastering the art of silent mystery, you're not just turning rejection to your favor, you're also building an aura of self-respect and resilience. It's about showing the world, and yourself, that you don't need to chase after those who overlook you. You are a force on your own. This quiet confidence becomes a magnet, pulling in opportunities and people who recognize your value without needing to be convinced of it. So next time rejection strikes, embrace the power of your silence. Let it work for you as a tool of strength, reverse psychology, and personal growth. Resist the pull to prove, explain, or beg for recognition. Instead, go silent, dive into your goals, and let your absence speak volumes. The mystery you create will make you unforgettable, and more importantly, you'll come to see that rejection was only a detour to becoming the unbreakable, magnetic version of yourself. If these insights resonated with you, help us grow by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support lets us keep bringing you powerful content that sharpens your mindset. Don't miss out. Join us on this journey to mastering every aspect of life.